Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back. Yo, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. Matter of fact, you know what? Oh, yo, we've been gone for a minute. Now we back with the jump off. Coons in the club in case something jumps off. I
Love it.
all that to say, we back, bitches. What y'all thought? We was gone? Like, are you Like, what happened? Are you Nah, but for real, we really missed y'all tremendously, hugely, and
bigly, if you will.
Bigly. And we hope y'all feel the same. We've been, all up to new things, all of us. All right, let me just stand up real quick for the YouTube channel. Let me
Wow. Okay.
Somebody come look at this shit. Yup, we have a little pontificating baby. I'm about 20 weeks pregnant, y'all. Trying to figure my life out, Thank you. You guys can, catch up with whatever you've been up to as well. I'm sure our listeners would love to hear that. But real talk, this season though, we've made some changes, added outlines, more structure, more content, more facts. You know what I'm saying? So we could
not lying no more.
We ain't lying and just random no more. We just, you know what I'm saying? We need to come with some factual shit. And just altogether more cohesive with the segments and all that. We hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, again, as usual, nothing changed. That part didn't change. Just let us know. Positive, negative feedbacks. We always want to hear that. Yeah, we back, bitches. That's season deuce.
That was the most New York street intro welcome back I have ever heard.
I'm trying to tell you, I took it to Harlem, I took it to Brooklyn. I really had nothing to Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Ja Rule or somebody 50 got something? Because I don't know.
But that was as fuck.
He did us.
Yeah. So yeah. We let the show begin.
Pontificating, yeah, we back again. To tell your friends, to tell your wretched ass friends. Thought we was gone, but nah, no, we ain't. That you got rid of us, but no, you can't. Yeah.
All right, so I had my big reveal to you guys. Again, I'm 20 months pregnant, figuring shit out.
20 months?
20 months, still ain't got shit. Ask me about a nursery.
What kind of baby is that? What kind of baby is that?
Did you
see 20 months?
Did you see my belly?
Babe,
everyone
it's cute and small. You're not
small.
Yes.
You're the first person that ever said that. I swear to God. I swear.
Your stomach is small, but your body is big.
Whoa.
No.
I'm like, hold on.
You are. It looks like you got a big baby.
Yeah, I feel like so he
just like brolic. I don't think you're that big. I've seen bigger.
Well, he needs to be a football player. Take care. You know what I'm saying? Get me out the struggle. I know I'm placing. There's a lot of
the
generational curse.
You're supposed to be breaking curses.
Now you're not letting him pick.
I'm telling you, he might want to play the violin. You know what? It is what it is. It's all right. What have y'all been up to? Like, what has been going on in y'all lives since our little breaky break? What's going on? Who want to share something?
All right. Well, I'll start. Your girl got a promotion. Got a little. I'm still in the same tax bracket, but I'm getting. There's levels. We're making progress. This summer was eventful. I feel like all of anything that was put on pause during COVID, even though we're still in COVID, it's just like everybody just hit the ground running. It was like, nah, we're doing this. So I didn't really get to do much, but as far as for myself, but I was there for my friends, supporting family, doing all these things. So it was great. Went to the most weddings that I've ever gone to in my life, and had a great time. And yeah, I I think I became, I'm now in my grounding, I'm nesting in my hibernation time now, matching the weather, because it was a lot.
Amazing.
I was out in these streets for a few months, and it's taking a toll on your girl. So, but, it was nice to see everybody, and now I'm just gonna go back into hiding. It's fine.
Balance.
Right.
It's all
Gotta
about
have it.
Right.
This was my first summer working in 2 years because of the pandemic, and I hated it. So I actually don't have many updates for you guys. I did spiral into madness several times, like on a 3-week rotating basis, but I came back each time. I'm currently back out. I just left one. But I did fully commit to changing careers. Not careers, changing employments, because I hate my job and I need more money. I need more everything. So I am committed to doing that now. I'm taking like a Google course to like become a project manager, because apparently there's money there. And there's like, work from home opportunities, which I need to never leave my home ever again. That's it. I did some traveling. I had a good birthday. But yeah, that was my summer. My summer was just like, I guess, getting readjusted to working. So anyone else who didn't work during the pandemic, like it was a huge shift to like, I spent 2020 at the beach almost every week.
Ooh.
Slight flex.
Had no job, had nowhere to be. It was wonderful. And then 2021, I also wasn't working, and it was less time at the beach, but also was just out. So this was the first summer when I was just like, oh, I guess I'll call out today and go to the beach and stuff like that. So it was a huge adjustment to get back into the workforce, and it just solidified the fact that I don't want to be in the workforce anymore in this capacity. I mean, it wasn't an epiphany. It was just like a confirmation that the 9-to-5 hustle is just not for me. And I'm not knocking those who it's for, but like for me, it is just not what I'm meant to be here for. And so having a summer of working again, and it was like, okay, bitch, you need to get on your grind and focus on entertainment, which is that's the huge goal. And in the meantime, focus on making more money, because unfortunately we live in a capitalist society and I need monies. So
support your journey.
I've been having a mental journey this summer. That was my time off. Hi, how was yours?
Kind of similar to yours. I think my summer, I didn't realize that we took off for the summer. I forgot the summer happened, honestly. But it's been a time of redefining things and illuminating certain things, which has been challenging. It's been very challenging for me this summer, but also I feel like I'm in a place that that's giving me the best options for myself. Like I have enough information to make decisions for myself, and for a long time I wasn't making any decisions. And this summer, just redefining what it is to be like a good person, trying to redefine what it means to me to be a laborer. Is that part of my purpose? So much I've equated like good work or hard work with like being a good person, and kind of some of these walls have been like crumbling down, because I'm like, no, to be a good worker is just to make somebody else rich and to be a good laborer, and I'm more than just a laborer. And that really, it rocked my world. It rocked my world a little bit. And but I think it also allowed me space to see other things, and to like, there's so many possibilities opening. I say possibilities, but on some real shit, it feels like looking into a void, but like I get to create it, right? I get to put things in my void, and that's just where I'm at right now. That's just where I'm at. That was dark and deep.
No, that's like real realization.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah, it really is. And I'm just like, me seeing how I move and like think and process. I'm also seeing how people show up in my life, and I'm just like seeing that differently. That's very tricky. That is very tricky. Yeah, but I think I'm a super compassionate person, so I've been giving people grace. But there shouldn't be any, but like, what is shouldn't? What's shouldn't? I think I think we can be a more compassionate people.
Yes.
So yeah, that's that.
There's always room for it. Not everyone deserves it, but who am I?
Right.
You know, what I
And
mean?
that's
Who are
the
we?
trickster part,
Right.
right?
But there's room for it.
I
mean, just to go back to a previous episode, if you guys check out episodes, I think it's also about just like boundaries, right? So I can give you grace and forgiveness. I can let go any ill will towards you, but that does not mean I need to be in your immediate vicinity.
Right.
I think that's a big part of like us forgiving people is like, I can forgive you and I hope the best for you. Also, update me via Facebook because I don't want to ever talk to you ever again.
Not Facebook. That means you were never gonna be updated because you were never on it.
No, but also I'm like, I'm also in a place like, do we need to have updates of people that are no longer in our lives? Like, it's not that I wish you ill will, but it's like, why do I need to know what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it's really a shift of focus and like, and we will touch on this later with our like finding your significance and living intentionally. It's just like, do I really need to know what you're doing?
No,
like,
that's a low vibration. No, that's very low. It doesn't.
I don't think it's a low, but I'm just like, it's not. I feel like it's
high
not
vibration.
Yeah.
No, it's a low vibration to need to know what they're doing and they're not even significant in your life. That's very low. Like that. No.
Yes.
I
don't think it's low vibration. Okay, you giving toxic Dixie plate right now.
And I think that when people say I don't care, there's such like a negative connotation with I don't care when it doesn't have to be that. It's just literally like I don't care. I don't care anymore.
It's true.
To know what is going on in your life. It's not because I don't like you. It's just because it has no effect on me. So I don't care. And it's fine to no longer care about certain things. Like,
you're right.
Right.
And touching on that, I hate when people say, oh, well, if you're saying that you don't care, it means that you do immensely. And that's not true. Like, that is, I literally do not care.
It's not opposite day every day.
Yeah, I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I really don't care.
But there are people who do say like, because I get the effect, right? Because like in acting school, and I will refer to acting school a lot because it broke me. But my teacher will always say like, oh, you say that you don't care, but that means that you do care. There are some times where I'm like, I don't care because I'm trying to like, I'm overwhelmed and it's too much for me to like really articulate. So I'm like, you know what? I don't care right now to go into this thing. And I really don't care to do it because I don't know what I'm saying. But if I truly tell you that I don't care, I don't give a flying fuck. Right. About what's going on. I mean, I hope you and your people are well. I wish y'all well.
You're better than me.
But I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about you or your name. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Like, because you don't give a fuck about me either.
No,
when we go down to like, I don't care. But
for me, it's you or your people. I'm sorry.
Right.
And I feel like
nigga, what you wishing the people bad too?
No, I don't care.
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I don't really care about. I just don't care. Once it stops with you, I guess I'm going from the if I cut off. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess that's different than just somebody not being
extreme though. Like cutting off. I'm talking about like.
No, I know that's what I'm saying.
Or just like whatever. We're not in each other's lives anymore. I forget. I think
I went that way. I went. I went all the way. Yeah,
machete. And you went machete.
Yeah.
I think when we say we don't care about something that is affecting us, right? I think the full sentence is like, I don't have it in me to care at this moment. But who says all that, right? But that's what it's just like. Trust me. Oh, I do care because it's making me crazy. But all I have to give, I can't put that. I can't because if I think about that, the stuff I have to deal with that's present will not get done.
Yeah.
Right.
So right now, I don't care.
Right.
It's like I'm living an illusion. I'm gonna get back to it when I can.
Right.
But I feel like in the moment of in those situations, I don't care is all I have to say right now. Because if I truly open up about my feelings, it's a whole therapy session.
That is, yeah. No, I totally because it's just like I don't have, and that's the other thing about like us being into like, and what you're explaining is like I have to survive, like it's survival mode, right? It's like I have to survive I don't have the luxury to like dip into these feelings just yet. I do care, but I don't care right now.
Correct.
But if I
Correct.
tell you I don't care about what you doing on the 27th of motherfucking October, babe, keep it to yourself.
Mhm, mhm.
But yeah, so that's my update. Thank you, Tribe, for yeah. So
Got
big
it.
things going on in the pontificating world.
Very, very big things. All right. So let's just move on to one of our brand spanking new segments. And it is called Is It Just Me? Anybody got a Is It Just Me? Is it just me?
It's not, because it's called You Argue Wallet.
One of our brand spanking new segments. And it's called Yo, Eric, you wildin'.
Who's Eric?
Y'all mayor.
Y'all mayor. What the hell? Who Eric? The
Yeah,
Eric.
James St. Patrick?
The Eric Adams. I mean, yeah.
He's always
My OB said that I can't get worked up, so I'm gonna just throw it to one of y'all.
All right. So let me tell you why Eric is wilding now. Because they just released, well, it's in June. They released the New York City rent hike. So, you know, because of the pandemic, it was like we had like a 2-year freeze-ish. So the new rent hike is 3%, maximum 3%, 3.25% for 1-year leases, and a maximum of 5% for 2-year leases. Now, the 10 or so people who decided on the situation, did they poll the actual renters? Because I can almost guarantee
No.
they all own homes, or they're making a good amount of money where a 3% hike is not going to affect them. But people like myself, who I work for the city, I'm not getting a raise until, the contract that may or may not have been signed, I don't know, says that we're getting no raise for the first 2 years. We're getting a 1% raise in 1 year, in the third year. So if it starts
Wild.
this year, in 2025, I'll get a 1% raise. However, my rent just went up 5%. So I'm just not sure.
Mhm.
I told you that
Math ain't mathing.
I'm not good at math. I'm not. It's a weak spot. But based on what I know, because I did pass the math B, I can't afford to live here anymore.
You can't afford what?
Live here.
To live here. I thought you said liquor. I said, whoa.
Well,
I'm
then,
like,
you know what?
damn.
That too. Because guess what? It's now, at this
That's what I
point,
thought I
it's rent or
heard.
liquor. And the way this is making my depression flare up, I'm gonna have to choose the liquor.
Right.
And I just feel like, my thing about Eric Adams is that he sucks. That's number one. But two is that I hate that he's like our black mayor. And it was like, the black guy. He fucking sucks. He's out here hanging out with fucking French Montana. First of all, where did he get
Problematic.
French Montana at?
Tricky.
That's just wild in itself. Like
Dining
why are
with
you-
Rudy Giuliani. Just
Like, what are you doing, Eric? What are you doing? No one can afford this rent hike. My brother, who makes way more than me, even he was like 5%. Like and the hike to him is literally pittance. It's like it's nothing. He spends this, on a good day. But even he was like, "That's a big jump," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is a big jump." And it's just not. It's like, do you not watch the news? Are you not aware that everything has gone up?
Busy in the club, girl.
He in the club.
No.
Busy in the
This
club.
is crazy. Like, who can afford these things? And it's also what I do for a living. Like, I handle people's rent for a living, and the rent people are paying. And I service the Bronx. People are paying like $2,000 for studios in the Bronx.
That's wild.
So yeah. So I can't imagine someone having to pay. I can't do math, but I don't know what 5% of $2,000 is. Someone.
5% of 2,000 is
You lost me.
damn.
It's
You
too
said
much
you
money.
lost me?
That's what the answer is. Okay. So it's just like,
hold on. I
It's
got
$100.
that's a big increase in your rent.
So they have to pay 2,100 instead of 2,000.
That's a lot. If
Right.
that's a lot if you have not gotten a raise at your job. That's a lot with the fact that food has gone up. I think food is up like 110%, something crazy like that. And it's basic things like eggs, chicken, milk. So like the staples of food have gone up.
Because why the fuck It's a carton of eggs at Trader Joe's. I'm sorry to interject, but why the fuck is a carton of eggs at Trader Joe's $4.39 for a large brown cage?
Mhm.
The cage is Cajun. It's not even cage free. It's in the cage.
It's in the cage. That's the chickens
Right.
that are eating other chickens doo doo.
Mhm.
That now calls for something.
Right.
How are we going to have a rent hike like this? Unemployment rates are still high. We're still in the quiet resignation or the great resignation. Like shit is bad. Why would they approve a rent hike, especially in New York?
Mhm.
And it's like, I don't like to equate. I mean, no, I do like to equate things, but it's like, this is not me giving an excuse for the rise in violence, because the violence is, I'm scared. That's it. I'm scared. But we have to look at, like, if everything has gone up, people need money. Robbing, stealing, killing, these are things that come with stress. There's things that come with poverty. And it's like, and also as people, I feel like hood people, put back like a better word, we've been impoverished for a long time, right? Like people in the hood.
Oh, I was about to say,
No,
why am I in it?
No, people in the hood, right? Like we're now accustomed, right, to living impoverished lives. Like it's kind of our status quo. Like we don't have money, we're struggling, right? It's our story of survival, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have people who are not used to struggling, who are struggling, right? And that's going to lead to a lot more suicides, murders, stealings, because now it's like I don't have the survival skills to be struggling. I never had to. But now what do I do? How do I at this
I've been
age?
struggling all my life.
No, that's what I'm saying. So some people haven't, like the Bed Bath & Beyond guy who killed himself. That nigga's rent was $30,000. Again, that nigga's rent.
Sorry.
His rent.
Was he black?
Rent.
No,
He's
white guy.
You said
No,
Bed
no,
Bath.
no.
Bed Bath & Beyond?
Yeah,
He
he
just got
jumped,
good quotes. He killed himself.
Jumped off.
yeah, he jumped off the building
He jumped off a building.
with his wife and children in the next room.
Oh, I thought you said, first of all, you got to speak faster. Because I said, with his wife and children. So, like, I thought it was,
No,
I thought it was
in the
this is
other
Dr.
room.
Sean Gay. I thought it was something for colored
but-
girls.
No, he
Oh.
left them to struggle on their own.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
Oh,
I mean,
no, it's for the insurance money. They're going to be
you
all
won't
right.
know it's suicide.
It's suicide.
Literally,
You can't get that.
most insurance companies have a no suicide
Mm-mm.
policy. Well, it's not that.
You
He just
Right, because
couldn't handle
white
the
men
struggle.
love to kill themselves after a while.
Right. So I mean, though he is
Middle age, sorry.
he's an extreme example of the situation, right? But people who are not used to struggling, they don't have the coping skills to start struggling out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are in a place,
Right.
and we're in New York City. We have people who are doing pretty well, who are now finding themselves in a place of struggle, and not because of the rent hike, because of the state of the nation. And then on top of that, it's like also your rent is going to go up. Like, okay, someone do that math. What is 5% of 30,000? What was that rent hike going to be like?
5% of, you said 30,000?
Yeah, that was his rent.
It went up $1,500.
See,
No, I mean,
Yes,
yeah,
no, you're
1,500.
right. Yeah,
So
1,500.
Eric, can you stop, please? Can you?
Right, because if a white man killing himself over $1,500 on a $30,000 a month fucking, I'm sorry, apartment.
No, he was doing some fraud shit too. But I'm just
He
talking about
was.
like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was okay. Then we can't bring him up. That's
Fraud.
guilt.
You can't.
No,
right.
no,
That's
I'm
why I was
talking about-
like,
no,
that's
he
not
was,
why he killed himself.
no, it wasn't because of rent. It was because he was doing something. He was getting probably indicted. But I'm talking about
And Bed Bath and Beyond is going under. So
Yeah.
It's going under.
Well,
So he did
guys,
some fraud shit.
run
with the
and
stock.
get the mother. Let me tell you something about Bed Bath and Beyond. Right, they racist, but they have the most high quality quilting and bedding for
Mhm.
very cheap.
Mhm.
Go run it up. Run it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even know that. I walk in and I see the cookware for like $400. I just walk out. I just went in.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yes.
$100.
So you don't know how to bargain deal.
Mhm.
You got
Understand.
to search the
No,
corner.
I needed a pot real quick. I'm like, all right, let me just run it. I'm like, what?
You need a
What am I
pot real quick.
thinking?
You go to
What's-
Marshalls or TJ Maxx.
right.
I understand that,
IKEA.
but it wasn't even around at that
real quick.
time.
A Home Goods. She said, "Let me go
A
to."
home goods.
No, I just ran in there, man, quick, and I'm like, well, you know, he killed himself and everything.
You can
so
tell
they
we're
might
not in
be-
the same tax
It might
bracket.
be.
Word.
they-
That's
That's a whole. That's the difference between a homeowner and a renter. He said, I ran into Bed Bath and Beyond right quick. Meanwhile, I'm like, let me run to the Target.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Or even a Williams
Target
Sonoma.
didn't have it. No, I had to go so far for that. So I walked in the front and I walked right back the fuck out because I'm like, I'm on this pot for what? $200 for a frying pan? I'm okay.
Was it Cathalon?
Clearly, I'm sorry.
The Cathalon?
Was it? It was not. It was
That's
not.
wild.
So no, but yeah, your man's Eric is wilding, and how he fix all of that is, stop it first, bring that shit.
Oh my.
That's
He
his,
said, bring it
that's-
back.
No, that's his fix. That ain't my fix.
Oh,
That's
I thought
his
you
fix.
said bring it back, and I was about to say I will punch you in your upper
No,
stomach.
no. That's it. No, that's his fix. That's
That's his
Oh, well, listen.
You understand?
that was his fix.
He got it. He got to get the drugs off the street somehow so he could sell it.
Well, that too.
This is true. All right.
That's
So
it.
let me tell y'all how another, this is also finance related, how Eric is wilding, because that man. So not only has rent gone up, but also my man's cut $300 million from our schools, from our public schools, that majority of them don't have proper HVAC systems. Majority of them no longer have after school programs for these kids. And then you'd be wondering why they be out here wilding, kicking over your garbage cans and shit, doing all types of nonsense because you don't have any programs for them.
Not the youth.
Stay home. And to stay in school. But, let me just encompass this real quick, what that $300 million mean. It was only amassed to certain schools that were underperforming, right? So 1,200 schools around New York City getting cut. It depends how underperforming they are, how much will be cut. It's like that whole reverse racism concept. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. It's not going to help them.
I'm sorry.
Make it better.
So the schools that are doing bad are going to get the least amount of funding.
Right.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
This is like Abbott Elementary type shit. I don't know if y'all watch it, but
Yes.
it's just like, and
Yes.
my cousin is a school teacher, but it's like they are underperforming because they don't have the resources to perform in the way that they want because they are relying on the money from the city.
There was I think it was the most recent episode. Well, not this week's, but it might have been the week before. The episode where they got that wrong delivery of textbooks, and they were just, oh, it's only 2 years old. What? That's not a standard that we should be, living up to. Like, it's just not. What are you doing for our children? And he be the main one talking about we got to invest in our youth and all these things like that. $300 million cut from our DOE system to start. That is only this year. That is nothing that's going to span over the next, throughout his mayorship.
Yeah.
Mayoral.
Whatever.
Mayoral. Yeah.
Whatever.
It's some
He doesn't
balance.
deserve it. But it is ridiculous because you cut $300 million only to increase police funding to $5.53 billion. That is up from last year. Remember when de Blasio fake cut funding? Remember that when he fake cut funding? Last year it was $5.44 billion. This year it has gone up to 5.53, but they're expected to spend over that $5.8 billion.
For what?
Why?
On what?
Why?
For what?
Listen,
For why?
listen.
Right. For why?
Because there will be the people in my family, tricky, who would say, well, who the fuck else is going to secure? Like, if something happens to you, you call the police. Like, right? Like, so it's the people that are listening, I am really trying to make, I'm really trying to make the math. And as you guys have learned, I'm very good at math. I just, and I understand, I don't understand fully, but I can intellectualize the concept, right, of people who want a policing system because they want to feel some safe, like some sense of security, and everybody does not live in this in a way that they feel like they have been oppressed by the police. They feel like they have the police have actually helped them. They feel it on an individualistic circumstance. I have family members who work for the PD. tricky and they have tricky fucking politic ideals that I do not share. So I can understand they're like, oh, well, we need to feel safe. There's so much crime now. So the police, they do need the funding, right? They're like, they need the funding to help us because New York feels to me like the New York of like when I was a kid watching a Charles Bronson movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and we shouldn't have watched the Charles Bronson, but it's given like mattresses on the floor, women getting raped, people being beat up on the train, people getting stabbed. It feels like that, right? So they're like, well, what's the alternative, right? The police need the money to help us be safe in the world.
Just like it's selective with this $300 million cut, it is also selective with who is getting a portion of this $5.53 billion.
What do you mean?
Every police station is not allocated evenly. That's not how it works. It's not allocated evenly. If you are underperforming at your said police station, if your officers are not meeting arrest quotas, ticket quotas, all that, you ain't getting the money that the other precinct that is hitting them quotas and going above and beyond. Like every police precinct and every police district, like all the police officers can't automatically just go work overtime to get more money, because let's face it, police are civil servants. They don't make money. They don't make a lot of money. They got to do OT. They got to do all of these things like that. But every police precinct and district, they are not allowed to do that. They have to ask for permission. They have to get the funding. They can't just, all right, you know what, OT, yeah, we got it. It's fine. No, every, like, it's not like that. So it's like, yes, okay, you want to raise this $5.53 billion. You said when you became a mayor, one of the things that you ran on, Mr. Eric, you said they was going to be police at every train station. If you got to put police in every train car to help curb the crime and all the attacks and shit like that that's happening, you've been mayor now for, it's about to be a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
Crime has actually gone up. It's actually gone up. The attacks on the trains and the attacks, just period, have gotten worse. So why do you need another, what is it, almost like $10 million? For what? To go where? Because
right.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
Well, that money is going to change it. That's why we need the money.
You're right. It's not going to change shit. These police officers, some of them, because not every precinct, like I said, some of them going to get new cars. Some of them going to be able to work OT, all of these things like that. But no, they're not going to be doing the things that need to be done to make some sort of impact on the crime. But crime going up, and just like, to Sonia's point, crime going up, rent going up, groceries going up, schools fundings being cut, all of this amasses to the same thing. It's the same problem. They're all connected. Teachers got to work 2-3 jobs,
which is crazy.
Even police officers have to work. If we're, in that sympathy, no, I'm not, but police officers got to work extra jobs too. So it's just like, how is this helping us in any way? This is all of these, like, raising money, raising funding, cutting funding. You're just like playing Monopoly with this, like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So what's going to happen? It does,
though.
They think it does.
No, I mean, I think it does if we think about the structure and how America is run, right?
Yes.
Like from the beginning of time, right? And this is just me making an analytical points meet, right? So it's like, of course, America our economic system thrives on human labor, right? Since the inception of America. And we are kind of slowly seeing the demise of it. And it's like, okay, if you beef up the security, and I'm putting that in quotations, right? If you're beefing up protection against American, police over the people, you are taking away education. So now there are only certain avenues that these uneducated people can do, right? Because now it's going to have to be things that you do with your hands. It's not going to be a white collar job. It's going to be very blue collar, very labor driven, so that they can put money back into the economy. So it does make sense to cut the funding, beef up the security in a sense, and starve the people of education, because I think that's really what people, and I don't like, even though I have family members who work for PD and they really believe in like law and order, and I say that in very loose quotations because there is no order and there is no law. It's all made up shit. And it's so devoid of like critical thought, critical thinking.
I'm getting
like,
slavery.
it
I'm
feels,
getting slavery. I'm getting modern day slavery.
It's more than slavery. It's like capitalism, because I remember like lessons in school. Because I was like, oh, white people were slaves too. And they're like, no, they were serfs. It is literally built on human labor. It all goes back to human labor. So of course they're going to starve education because they don't want you to advance in a way where you're like as smart in quotations as other people, so you can advance and put money into your into your community and better things. So of course you're going to like underfund the underfunded schools, and then they're going to add like army recruitment stations and believe in the American dream, where they can't really do anything for you under this like guise of like law and order and having patriotism for your country, where it's like, are you fucking dumb? Are you fucking dumb?
They are. They're dumb.
Yeah.
And I hate to like not have compassion and be like, you guys are dumb, but it's like,
No, you're dumb.
Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and it's like, okay, you have survived, and like kudos to you, because life is hard and you have lessons that I do not have. But like, thought, if you don't have it, leave it to somebody else. Like truly,
that's the problem.
Truly, because life is more than just like working a job. And if you're happy with doing that, like by every means, fine. But like also don't negate the hardships in like of other people. And like we are 4 women who have literally opposed the odds of being in public schools, in the New York City public school system. And like I find it weird, like Kioma, you were talking about like, oh, they had books that's only 2 years old. And I'm like, I'm lucky because I've had teachers, educators who were passionate about their job and like taught things. And Bill Cosby, fuck him to the day that I die, but there was like a renaissance in Blackness that we grew up in, that we had to emulate, like this like forward thing, like this reaching higher up, right? And it's like, what are these kids now? What do they have to aspire to?
Right.
And they're like literally sucking like the livelihood and the future out of children. And it's like the fact that people don't get that, and they think that like, and very much education does begin at home, but then we also have to factor in like everybody doesn't have the same education, everybody doesn't have the same resources, everybody doesn't have and resources as in time, as in like
opportunity.
Opportunity. And it's just
right. And even
everybody
with, like having the same time, back to what you were saying, Kim, about time. You have people who have to now have 2 or 3 jobs. I don't have time to also teach my child the things they're lacking in school.
Correct.
I don't have the time. I have to somehow pay for this new rent hike. So I can't be like, I can be a good parent only to the extent of the hours I have left of my day. And as a functioning adult, I still need sleep. I still need to have an outlet of my own. And it's like, so it's not like, fuck them kids. But it's like the parents are surviving, the kids are surviving, teachers are, everyone is in survival mode. No one is like living, and people who are making the decisions, they have taken all of the human aspect out of their decision making.
Yeah.
Yep.
right.
At work, at my job, I kept saying we're being treated like children. I'm like, but it's not children. And then my coworker said it's like cattle, and I was like, cattle. That is what I was like, we're not being treated like children, because children do get explanations, and children do get lessons, and children do get patience, and a sense of understanding of what's happening.
Right.
We don't get any of that.
Our cattle, it's just like take the little prong and get in the cage.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no communication. There's no there's no telling you why are we doing this. The cattle just does what the cattle does. They roam during the day, come back at night, or whatever it is. And it's like, we're fucked.
We are, because the people that we have, the people that are in charge, right? The the mayors and, you know, like all that stuff for New York, I can say, is these people are made up, our government, our New York government is made up of people that were brought up in a different time. So they're just like, if I could do it, you could do it. And we all know someone or many people that have that same mentality, which is like, baby, rent ain't the same as it was in the 80s. Groceries aren't the same. You had your, you know, like even then you could still play outside. You can, there are certain things that you were able to do, and you had after school.
Yeah.
It was like a very key thing for the working force, just period. People that work. It's because if you can't afford if your school doesn't offer after school programs or after school activities, if you can't afford to pay for childcare, where is your kid gonna go?
Right.
The kid's gonna be home by themselves. If they're, you know, if they're not, you know, too idle and all that stuff like that, they're gonna sit in the house, they're gonna find something to do. But 9 times out of 10, these kids are gonna be outside. They're going to be outside, and they're going to get influenced about or influenced into doing just like innocent things. But then with the increased security that's going to be outside with these police, these kids are going to be getting in trouble. They're going to be thrown into the juvenile system, and then it just starts. And that's how it starts. When you start with, to what Ty was saying, when you cut the funding in school, you just accelerate in that prison to that school to prison pipeline. They're just getting on that assembly line early, because the less things that they have, the less outlets that they have, they're going to be doing other things because they're children. They're children are curious. If you're not feeding into that curiosity and their imagination with after school activities, with some sports, with like, it's just so many things that you should be able to offer the children in New York City. Like that's where does all the money go? Where does all the money go?
And then it's also like, they're also like forgetting, and we can have an episode about this later, about like how education in America and in New York is structured, right? Because like everybody doesn't learn the same. Everybody, like, thank God for me that I'm a book learner. I love being teacher's pet. I love accolades. I love to, you know, so school is my shit. But then there are other people who are visual learners. They are somatic learners, you know? So it's just like, then there's that other shit where it's like, we're losing the youth on that as well. And then just to like tie back to like the whole like subway thing, right, with Eric Adams. And it was like, so I ride the train very late because I get off of work in the middle of the night. So like what they were doing was, they did have cops at stations, but what they would do is like stop the train cars at every fucking station. And what they would do was just like walk through. And we did have like, and I spoke about this on a previous episode, where there's like a bunch of homeless people, but then they would just like shepherd and like bother the homeless people. So then it makes like regular, like quote unquote citizens feel uneasy about having cops on the train, because now there's a sense of fucking danger instead of safety and protection, you know? So it is really so fucking tricky, and like we will get into the intricacies of all of that, but we are going to move on because we have a very meaty, I think, and what is this called? As we are winding up towards the end of the year, and people will have their end of year intentions and shit. Personally, I hate the word intention because I feel like the millennials have beaten that shit into the motherfucking ground. I'm tired of people living intentionally with vibes, but like whatever. Our new topic, our main topic is going to be called So Boom. So Boom, we are going to really dive in deep on this week about finding your significance and like living intentionally. And we are going to start with Salome, because as everybody who has been listening to this podcast know, that she has had her journey with motherhood and being a West Indian woman, and what it means to like, we sadly and trepidatiously remember that Jamaican woman who said, "Let me blow panya," and I joke with Salome,
and it worked.
I said she blow panya.
She did. Now I'm pregnant.
Right. She is big pregnant. She pregnant.
She's
So
right.
yeah, Salone, what do you think like about the topic of like finding your significance, your purpose in life, living intentionally? Like what does that mean to you?
It's sometimes it's very difficult to like to just choose one thing to be my significance. And I honestly, I'm trying not to, like, as I delve into this motherhood role um and all that, it should be that, okay, well, now you found your significance, like now you're a mother. I don't feel that way. I
Wait,
don't feel
was motherhood a goal for you?
it, I don't know. I really don't. I can't answer that. Because I had given up, I was told, that I would never have children, or I should adopt, one of my, TMI, but this I'm guessing this is a safe space with our listeners, but could be not.
It better
Um
it better be. Let me say PS motherfucking A. This is a safe space. We
Mhm.
will speak to each other. We want to engage with you guys
right,
as a community. But if you do not
right.
have respect and compassion, I
I
will
will beat
read you
your
and your
ass.
mother and your grandmother and your great grandmother and the slaves on the fucking field until the depths of the earth. And then I will talk to you later. Because what we're gonna
Thank
have is
you.
respect here. Yes.
Right.
So this is
Thank you,
definitely
Ty.
a safe space for you.
Yes.
Well, thank you. So, I've had to have like surgery and all this other stuff because what you have cysts that's blocking a tube or an ovary, and all that to say, I did I did a lot of shit. So it's like it's very what's the word? I don't know what it is. But confusing to me, like, do you want to have a child because you want a child, or because you were told that you can't? You know what I mean? And as a woman, what's beaten into your head, as you said, as Caribbean and Guyanese culture, is like, well, if you are not, procreating, whatever, like, what is your purpose? Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, I remember, I believe it was like 2 or 3 years ago, I took a trip to Guyana, and I went to see my godfather, who is the fucking mayor, well, the ex-mayor, and he told me, he's like, well, do you have children yet? I'm like, oh, no, Mr. Green. He's like, you know what? You're lazy. And I'm like, at that point, right? At that point, I'm like, people really start to fuck with your head, like, like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with me? You know what I mean? But at that time, I know I was struggling with, fertility issues and all this other stuff. So it's like, I question I question if that's really something that I truly wanted after being told that I couldn't do it so many times. And then, so boom, after all of that, surgery, this and the third, still paying for IVF for a child that I don't have, after I said that I'll be a childless person. Again, I know it's not something I talk about. I really don't.
I didn't know this.
I know.
I mean, we're not close friends, but like,
shut up. Shut up.
I'm sorry. No,
not even my mother.
I just want to share what you want, but what do you mean that you are paying for IVF for a child that's not? What do you mean?
Well, it didn't work. So I'm like, going back.
You still have to make payments on the.
Yeah, I knew that.
So that's why I was confused as to, is it the pressures from the outside world that's making you do all the stuff? You know what I mean? Or family and society and all this stuff, or is it you? So now, as I'm pregnant, I'm like, you know what? Let me give, this baby a fighting chance. Let me,
please.
I know, but it's very difficult because mental illness,
Big facts.
It's crazy, and with everything that's going on in the world, everything that that's triggering that y'all are, talking about like, the systems and the funding. And I'm like, I do have a life inside of me that now I'm going to have to, navigate through all this shit, which I don't think is going to get better. So again, I'm like, the anxiety starts creeping into me and I'm like, fuck, what is my significance? You know what I mean? Like, what is my significance going to be? Like, how am I going to be to this child that I'm bringing into this sick motherfucking world? Like, how am I going to be? Should it be my significance? Like, it should my, my intention for living be solely for that? But as we speak right now, I don't feel that way because I've always thought that living in my purpose would be philanthropy work. However, how can you do philanthropy work if
really?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I do
things about my new friend Salone every day.
Well, I'll be like
you're a deep bitch,
secret squirrel. I just do things and I don't say anything. So I had an aunt, my favorite aunt, passed away from AIDS. Wasn't her fault. So it's like I'll do stuff like that. I'll go to, the AIDS ward. I'll go to soup kitchens and food pantries. I even do that for the job now. Whenever reading with kids, giving back to, like, I feel like that's my purpose. But now I'm conflicted because I'm like, well, you have a child, like your child comes first before every other person that you didn't push out. You know what I mean? Like, you need to make sure that home is good first, your child is good first before you delve into that that giving back aspect. So it's like I'm a little conflicted because I know that that's my purpose. I know that these things make me happy. Coat drives, all the stuff that I spoke about, it makes me happy giving back. Right now, my parents are in Guyana. They just sent down 4 barrels. They do an elderly giveaway. They do an elderly party for Christmas. They do an Easter party for the children. They do an orphanage giveaway, helping children, well, girls, my mom. And this is all for my mom. I think my dad he has a good heart, but it's like he gives all nilly-willy. You know what I mean? Like he'll be in a bar and buy the bar out or make sure, food for everyone at the restaurant.
You feel like it's like his giving is more ego-driven as well?
I think so. I'm not really sure.
What's so interesting as you talk about this, Salone? I'm seeing, like, I've known you for a lot of years, right? And like being at your baby shower, seeing the location of where your house is, right? And
Gender
reveal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. It's a gender reveal. Because you know what? I said baby shower because gender reveal.
Tricky. I know, and I did not want one.
No.
Thank you guys.
It's just like it's just like it's a like seeing the vicinity of like your childhood home in America, right? Mm-hmm. The professions that you and your sibling have gone into. Mm-hmm. You saying that you like philanthropy work, right? Mm-hmm, and I'm like, it's so much of like location. Because like you guys live by the airport, right? Mm-hmm. Your brother is a pilot. You are a flight attendant. You fly all over the world. So I'm like, I can imagine, like seeing you, I was like, I can imagine seeing like baby Salone playing in the yard or whatever, the backyard, and then like seeing planes going, but like, yo, I want to go wherever this plane, like you are such a wanderlust, right?
Right.
So with your brother. And then like you saying that you're into philanthropy work. And it's like, I feel like the things that you are saying that we make up about ourselves, right? I'm gonna take you out of it because I don't want you to feel attacked, right? Just the things that we make up about ourselves. And it's like your philanthropy work that you're talking about, like giving back. And it's like, I feel like it's so much steeped in your immigrant experience, right? Your parents, not even yours, right? Mm-hmm. Your parents' immigrant experience about like, whatever I don't need, I'm going to give. I'm going to give to other people, right? So it's like, are you truly living in your own personal significance, or is it your lived significance and intention, right? Like the things that make you happy, that make you feel like, is it truly
Is it?
These are that's what I'm saying. These are the questions that we're all asking. I'm not putting it on you because I'm like, I can dig deep into my own shit too, right? But as we were talking, I was like, right, so much of our things that we value deeply to us is like learn things. And it's not things that we may have chosen for ourselves, but it feels good. Like the whole thing that you were talking about, like motherhood and shit like that. And I had to come in the pandemic. And then that's when so to the viewers that don't know this, y'all don't know this. For years, I did not believe in depression. It was like, there is a single
you sound like my dad
that you can tap into. I was like, if you say like depression, you feel like I was like, you're uninspired because you don't have a purpose. Like you need to like fill yourself up and you will have this thing.
No.
The pandemic has made me a changed woman because depression got me in chains. And I was just like, fuck, I just forgot my thought because I'm so drunk.
Wow, that was real. That's real as shit.
No, I really just like, I ain't gonna hold you. Oh, okay, about like
depression and it had even chokehold and pandemic.
It's something that I didn't believe in because I was like, you have to like pinpoint it to this like this thing that you and that's not the truth about depression. And it's like something that I've told myself. Oh, I'm talking about my own personal fertility. That's how I got here. Right. So in the pandemic, I'm like, I'm a woman of a certain age. I will never tell you how old I am, but if you've seen my dating profile, you will know. So I had to come to a crux and I was like, okay, in 2019, I was very intentional. And I put that in quotations because about how I wanted to, I was like, okay, I'm a woman of a certain age. If I want to have a child, I need to figure it out because I don't have my eggs about to turn into powder, you know? And then I felt like my choice was taken away from me. Right. And I was like, well, I can't be a mother anymore. And I was like, I was sad for months, crying, screaming, shaking, sliding down a wall. And I was like, and then I had to think, I was like, well, is being a mother something that I wanted for myself? Or was it something that I feel like I would be useful as a human being in a woman's body to like give birth and like feel the full experience in quotations of being a woman. And I feel like this is where I'm back, y'all.
Trying to
this is where I connect with you because it's like, did I choose it for myself? Because like our circumstances are very different, right?
Correct.
Because like you had to go through all these things because if I want to, maybe I will. And then I had to like, I came up against a wall and I was like, well, if I want to, then I gotta.
Right.
And now that you had this surprise pregnancy, what have you like discovered?
I've discovered that it's tremendously hard. It is very hard. And some people have it a breeze. My mom breezed through all three of us. Breeze. Every single morning I throw up. So I still, as I am entering my third trimester, I'm still again throwing up. I still have nausea. I still have food aversions. And it's just, I've learned to live with these things every day. I can barely walk because I guess my pelvic area is just not doing too well. He's just so heavy. Turning on the bed is hard. Everything is about it has been hard for me. However, I try not to look how I feel because I think that would spiral me more into a depressive state, just seeing myself like just and not being able to do anything about it. So, I'll comb my hair, I shower, I'll try again not to look as I feel. That's something that I didn't really expect for myself to be like this sick. What else? Gosh, pregnancy brain. It's a thing. It's a real thing. No, read up on that.
You know what? No. It's okay.
Don't get it like depression now.
No. I take that look back If the people that are listening,
No.
I gave them a look as in like, be fucking for real.
No.
But
It's for real.
I will take that back because Salone walked up 4 steps and she was visibly winded, so much so that I was like so worried about her. She was like, yeah, because my lungs are now in my chest. And I said, that doesn't sound healthy. But that's pregnancy. That's pregnancy, and that's wild.
It's hard, and I'm still working because poverty. The bills don't stop. They don't care. I can't go on maternity leave early because, again, poverty. Also, your bills, not because you're working at 40 or 60% means that your bills don't be 60. No, still 100%. So I'm trying to, every day I go to work Monday through Friday. People are like, you should be home. This is the only time that you're going to have for yourself. Once baby comes, and a lot of triggering things. Everyone has something triggering for me. Whether it's about birth, whether it's about when the baby's here, what do I need? They think they're doing me a service by saying that, but they're actually doing me a disservice, telling me everything that's negative about like parenthood. And then to end it all, it's like, but you'll be great. Thanks. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? So, you should be up. You should be, feet up. Don't do anything. Listen, if I don't get shit done around here, I have help. I'm sorry?
Does that make you question like your individual significance? Because like
it does. It absolutely does make me question.
In what ways? I mean, and we can kind of hint on it, but I want you to articulate it. You got to name a thing. That's what the Bible says. You got to give
it a name.
Give it a name.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm gonna blame it on pregnancy brain again, because it triggers me a lot when I have to speak about like the pregnancy and my significance and what this means to me, what has changed, what is going to change.
Is it because you're in the middle of it's not even a middle. Is it because you're in a shift of significance now? Because like
yes, that's what I was saying, because I'm between it. I'm a little confused as to what my significance should be. Like, should it just be towards this child that I'm bringing forth, or towards what I've always believed in? And I just wanted to like delve back to what you were saying. You were saying that, was it placed upon us, the things that our parents went through, such as, philanthropy work and like giving back and all this stuff. And for me, I can say a hard no, because I've been through that. I didn't grow up here. You know what I mean? I wasn't born here. So right. I've seen what children, I know what they need. I know what they need because I've lived it. So yeah, I have lived it. And it wasn't even, I wasn't even supposed to live it, because that's a whole nother segment, because, things that were given to us were not given to us. And it was, delivered in a way in which, well, your parents don't care until you got to this country. And it's like, you see the receipts. It's like, wait, so y'all did care. Y'all did do all this stuff. But as a child, it was presented to us that, well, they're not sending you any barrel. No, they didn't send you any shoe. No, they didn't send anything, when everything was there. It was all there. So what are you telling me that, that we had to turn over our uniforms? Because, I used to make my own uniforms, school uniforms. So instead of, hear me out.
Okay, Rachel. So no, I said not a designer.
Hear me out. Yeah. So
no,
we'll have the material and we'll make it. And it's crazy. I have pictures. And the outside for a new school semester would be, brand new. But instead of getting a brand new uniform, you have to turn it over, like take all the stitches out, and the inside would be, the new part. So turn over and make a, shit like that kids shouldn't have to go through. I don't like that shit.
But I'm sorry,
Deodorant.
what do you mean by like
Yeah, turn like this is
Inside out.
color inside out. Turn it over because the inside would be not faded,
oh,
right?
that's
Shit like
deep.
it's deep. You know what I mean? So I've lived these things. I've lived having to, watch the new shoes on the shelf and can't wear them because,
Yeah.
it's very, very, very triggering to me and I don't like it. So I try to help as much as I can. In giving my parents whatever money it is, whatever clothes with tags, shit that I went over to their house and I'm like, oh, all of this, like with mad tags I haven't worn. I'm like so happy to give them away. Shoes, bags, everything. And I don't mind. It warms my heart. It makes me so happy to do that. And I know I could go on Poshmark and get a couple $100 because bitch is broke. But I'm like,
no, yeah, you have to survive.
Yeah,
listen,
I get that.
I gotta give my toxic thought. I'm so sorry, guys. I said no, not our real life Marlo Hampton. Our real life Marlo Hampton. She said only new things for my girls, and I get it. No, I understand it though.
So listen,
it's coming out of lack of your own self, and you don't want to perpetuate that same in a younger person because you know how it feels for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know exactly. Yeah. I've walked the walk. So it's not because my parents are, and that's nice that they do that. You know what I mean? I would love to do it on a larger scale.
Yeah.
But I do what I can,
I'm gonna ask a question and I'm gonna pause because I'm gonna give everybody time to think about it. So I will have to ask, right? Do you think, and think on this, do you think you're sick? So you're saying like the thing that fuels you, right, into your like significance of where you feel your most authentic self is helping somebody else because of your own personal lack and trauma. But is that you living your individual significance truly?
I don't think
that
so.
Really is that I said think on it.
I did.
Is that you really live it intentionally? If you don't read the chat, bitch.
I did.
I'm trying to be fake because I need to pee. So think about it.
It popped up. I ignored it.
No, don't do it. I'm about to pee on my couch.
I tried to hit us with the were you silenced or were you silent?
Thank you.
All right, so go ahead, run that back.
Okay, so and we're back after my pee break because I'm pretty sure Sonia did not cut that out. But you guys, you're in the back. You are in the PTS. So before my bathroom break, I asked Salone, does living intentionally, right? Because if we go back to like, we are all millennials or zillennials or whatever. Everybody's throwing around intention, and it's like this. Basically, intention is like what you envisioned and how you are living out these like this planned person of yourself, right? So you were saying that the things that you like of philanthropy, you never want anyone to feel what little Salone felt with like not having new things, and you want to make sure that they have the feeling of having something new, of being like valuable and being worthy truly of like of newness, right? But is that truly like you living, Salone, your own intentional individual life?
Can I just chime in?
I feel like, of course.
I don't think anyone can do that. I think it's impossible for anyone to live
really
at any moment in their life without it being a direct effect of something else in their life. Even if it wasn't a traumatic experience, something we're always being propelled forward by something else, be it good or bad experiences, be it humans we meet, be it a TV show we watch. I don't think anyone is living a life that wasn't like that's organic in this very moment. I don't think that's possible unless I think it's possible, basically. I think everything is a cause and effect. Now, something is trauma, something is a great experience. Like it could just be like, oh, I traveled out the country and I saw people giving back and I never thought to give back. So now I want to give back, right? Or it could be, I didn't have, so now I give back.
Yeah.
Or because even like where you were, like talk about your particular issues, Tashana, like where you were in 2019 is not where you are in 2022.
Mhm.
So that has affected you. So maybe when you were 14, right? When you were 14, like, because I feel like as women, there's things on our checklist we didn't put in. We got our checklist and they were there.
Yeah.
Some of those things were marriage and kids. Those were things that were on our checklist that we never said.
Oh, I never wanted kids. That's the thing.
No, not you.
No, but I understand what you're saying. Yes.
As women, those were on our checklist before we got the list. Right?
Facts.
So even myself, like I really have no desire to be a mother. I don't. I'm very selfish in the best ways, right?
It's the question after the end. You said mother, like as if the possibility. No, it was a question.
It is. It's like I question it because it's like, do I want to raise a person? Right? No, but the full statement is I do want to be pregnant. I say it all the time. If there was a way for me to be naturally pregnant and give birth, I would. And if there was a way for me to form no attachment to this child and give it away,
there's ways.
No, there isn't. Sorry, I don't feel like I could do it. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm not talking about surrogacy.
Asia finish her full sentence because I am me and my please finish.
No, I think pregnancy is so underrated. I think people act like it's like, oh, women just get pregnant. And it's like, yeah, some do and some don't. Some have a hard time. But at the end of the day, we're literally making humans. Like, I feel like there's so many things, like, I mean, this is not the same at all, but there's things that we have just normalized to the fact that they're still abnormal or they're still amazing. Growing a human in your body that's going to grow to live a whole independent life, that's an amazing fucking thing. It's not something like making a pizza. Like that's a thing. Like you're literally like Sloan, her organs are shifting, right? There's a person inside of her. That's some like sci-fi type shit. And we just say it like, oh yeah, you're pregnant. That's a big freaking thing. You know, people don't take it like, why are you working at all? That should be 9 months of not working. And she's working until she can't work no more. And that's a lot of women's story is they work until like the last day. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I truly value pregnancy. I think it's truly an amazing thing that people do. That women do. Or
people with vaginas.
People with vaginas, right. People with uterus.
Right.
I think it's an amazing thing that they do.
Yeah.
So for the pure science of it, would love to be pregnant. I just think it's something I would love to have like as a person with a uterus and as a person with the capability of doing it, I would love to do it. Yeah. However, it doesn't stop there. Now you have to raise and love and sacrifice for this being. And that is the part that I am not committed to as yet. Maybe because I have no partner, maybe because I'm impoverished. You know, the list is long, right? But I haven't gotten to the point where I'm like, I want to deal with the aftermath of giving birth, which is why I don't have children at this moment in my life, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But when I was 14, right, before I even, again, and I'm who knows, let's say I'm 5 or 6, who knows? I'm handed this checklist of what a woman does or what a person does. On the checklist already was get married and have a kid. That was there already. Before I put in be an actress, before I put in, you know, travel the world, before I put my stuff in, that was there already, right? So now I'm an adult and I'm like, oh, actually, I could take that off my list. And that's based on what I've been through. And I personally don't think I've had any bad experiences with, I guess like the world is terrible, right? But why I don't want to have a kid right now is pure selfishness. Yes, the world does suck and I'll bring a child into a terrible world. Yes, there's a lot of reasons why I shouldn't do it for the child. There's a lot of reasons why I shouldn't bring a child into this world for them. But for me, I'm selfish. Now, did I know at 25 that at 37, I would still feel this way? I had no idea. I definitely thought by the time I got
blew your mind?
Huh?
I said blew your mind?
Truly. I truly thought by this time, and even like, I have this thought often, because even as we like progress with the podcast and progress with the media company, right? And I think about moving and stuff like that. I'm like, wait, a child is going to put a wrench in this. It just is for me. I'm not saying people should pick career over their children. If you can do it, you can do it. Where I'm at, I know it's going to slow me down or be a hurdle for me because I know the kind of devotion I would have to my child. I know myself. So I just feel like, so all this to roundabout and say, I don't think there's any time in your life that wasn't influenced by another time in your life. So I feel like we can live in our significance, but it will always be influenced by something else in your life. So it could be your parents. You know, I don't think we can separate our now from our then.
I don't 100% agree with, like, a lot of the things that you said. I do understand, because I think, like, as you spoke about that, it brought something back to me that I totally forgot about as like a young 20-something-year-old, right? I have literally all my life, I feel like I've raised my family in a way that like I wore, and this is what I was like telling to a friend when I was like going through my own, like, do I really want to have a baby, right? Because I was like, I have my personal experience, I feel as if I've raised many humans, right, that are not my own. And I didn't have like a true experience devoid of responsibility. So I was like, I don't want a kid because that's the most responsible I will ever feel. But then there's like the part of me that I'm like, I feel like I will raise an amazing human, right? But then I don't give a fuck about that baby. It's steeped in my own ego. No, Keoma, no. She was like, what? No, but it's true, because it's like, I don't, it's purely ego. It's like, I know that I would raise a good person.
Yeah, but both of those are based on experiences.
Right. It is. But also it's like, I don't know what that baby would need as a mother. Like, that's different. It shifts your focus. It's not your ideals. It's like what that child needs, right? Like what that particular child needs. And I don't know what the fuck that baby gonna need. I was a needy fucking kid and I wanted so much out of life, right? And then I was like, but what I wanted to do was like, I'm a woman. So of course I want to feel the experience of creating life. And that's it.
Right.
And no, that's what I'm saying. I understand what you were saying, but then you also, like, you went on to say, like, fuck, I forgot it again. You also went on to say, oh, like, it's not your lived experience, but I'm like, it's like whatever you think is solely based on your lived experience. But I'm like, people do like ayahuasca and drugs to like, there are people out here in this world that's not living in their trauma. They're living in the possibility of things. It's like the people that like shed societal things, and they just like purely live intentionally of like who they are as human beings on this earth. I don't think that the four of us have the luxury, because I've only heard of white people living like that. And there are some Black people like that live on the island. They feed off the earth. It's those type of people, right, that seem to like seemingly have all of the what's this thing, like life's meanings. Like I feel like some of the people, they feel like they're like living off the earth. They are just like truly living in their own experience of being human beings with feelings and emotions, devoid of all the other shit that like they've kind of transcended that.
And I feel like that's what I wanted. That's where I want to go.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, let me just say, Salone, you're agreeing with me, but Keoma and Sonia look disgusted.
I just want to say,
I'm not.
I think.
So you understand what I'm saying, though, Salone, right?
I do.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, but that still was not organic, right? It still wasn't an organic moment. They didn't birth.
But isn't it the most organic thing? Because as a person on this earth, that's your birthright. Outside of all the other shit that you have to deal with, it's your birthright.
No, why can't you just be?
Wait, hold on.
Something triggered that thought.
Right. Everything triggered it. The ashwagandha triggered it, right? No, but listen, wait. If they were a baby, right? If a baby is born in the wild, dropped by a stork in the wild, right? And they have no outside influences, which even they have outside influences. The nature, the wild they're in is their outside influence, maybe. But the person who decides at 19, you know what, I'm shedding societal norms, it's because they've had societal norms. They've known societal norms and they said, fuck that, I'm shedding it. No one is living an organic life. Something always propels something.
But isn't that the most organic though? It like all the other things that you live are put on you. Like literally what we were talking about, like both. Motherhood, growing up, like all of these things are put on you, but like your essence, your actual being on this earth, devoid of everything. You come out the cooch, boom. You're in. You want to say you're in the forest? You're in the forest. I'm in a hospital room, right? And it's like even these these quote unquote, it's your birthright. Like living on the like outside of like labor and all of this and like trauma, family trauma, like it is your birthright to just like be on this earth.
But I think
that's being one with the earth.
I think if you were to ask somebody who's living this life, right? If you were to ask them like, how did you get here, right? So you're asking an adult, let's say 25 years old, right? Still pretty young, right? If you ask them, how did you get to a point in your life where you were able to shed the things put on you, right? Their answer would not be silence because something happened. Something happened. They would say, I looked around, I realized I was living my truth. They would say, you know, they would have a reason as to why they came to a point where they're living their truth. They wouldn't have no answer for you because something got them there. Something made them say, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to just be. Something made them get to a point.
But isn't the being exactly? But the being is it's for me. The being is zero. The being is at neutral. The being is like the given thing.
No, I agree with that. Like, but we're talking about if your question is can a human get to a point of being themselves without their past? No. I think the answer is no. Can they start from zero and become something totally else that they want to be without their past still playing a part in it? The answer is yes. But can they get to a spot of zero without having come down from 10? I don't think so. I think I could be rebirthed as zero, and that's it. And I get what you're saying. From zero, I'm going here and here and here. But I was born at 10.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I'm able to shed down society until a zero. And now I'm here at
whatever series of things that led this person
back to zero. Okay, yeah.
To start to even just like you said before, there are only a specific amount of like hue of people and even tax bracket of folks that can make that decision, right? Like it's after they have probably worked in the workforce for X amount of years. So they got the money, they got their little nest, they can do these. They're afforded these things. But something like as to what it's saying, something got them there. Something happened. It was they're like, you know, fuck society, fuck all this shit. I'm going to live in the woods and cook my food over a fucking wood burning stove. Like there are something had to happen.
Shout out to Asian Naomi King and her white king.
That bitch.
Aja. Her name is Aja.
Aja, you're right.
But there's certain people that they can do that. They've been, you know, they're just like, you know, fuck all that. I'm gonna go live in the woods and live off nature and whatever, or whatever zero is for you, whatever organic living is for you. It doesn't have to be what I feel would be struggle. Like, cause I'm not living in nobody's woods. It's not happening. But it's like, whatever brings you your peace and where it feels like I don't need to respond to certain things. I don't need to be doing. That's fine, but it happened from somewhere. So let me circle back to Ty's original question. I like you said, I disagree with the fact that everybody can just be at zero. Like I don't think that cannot happen without other outside influences. But you touched upon Sloan, the philanthropy and just how she is being an influence from her parents. Mine is an influence from my parent, my mom. My mother is and we weren't always, you know, like middle class. We had to get there. But regardless, every month my mother sent a barrel home. Like she made sure, like if, you know, my brothers and I grew out of shit, she's sending it to Belize. If, you know, like even when we go down there, like I go down there, majority of the time when I go down there now, it is for philanthropy purposes. Like Ty knows, like I am very invested in giving back to Belize. But mine now, like where it started with my mom and like wanting to give whatever we can because we're so fortunate and to be living in America with, outside of what other people believe. Like, that's what we believed. Like, we made it to America. We were able to make a life for ourselves, all these things. So we are fortunate. Whereas I believe if I was living in Belize, that's fortunate because I ain't as stressed, like you get to work, you go to work and you have your home and all these things like that. Well, whatever. But as I became an adult and realized that there are certain things that I felt like this came to me and I should have, and it's like a thing that I'm not even like thinking about. Like, for instance, sharing, because we are in a safe space. When I got my period at 10 years old, right? Got sent home. My mom, and she's working. My mother used to babysit, as majority of West Indian mothers did in New York. But my mother used to babysit, and her employers were the nicest people in Cobble Hill. And I went to their houses. I got sent home because I was actually dying. I was like, what the hell is happening to my body? Why am I in so much pain? But as a West Indian mom, it was very taboo to talk about. Like, I didn't know that at 10 years old, I could get my period. I thought that happens when I'm ready to like have a baby. Like, I didn't know any. I was in the 5th grade. Like, I didn't know shit. So I wasn't taught about it. But when I got to the house, like, my mother sat me down and her employer sat me down, and they just like talked to me about all these things, showed me how to put on a pad, all these, and everything was just there. Everything was just there, and I didn't even have to think about it. And as like I started to realize, like, when my cycle was coming, all these stuff like that, I didn't have to worry about having access to pads or having access to something that would help me with my cramps. And, like all of these, I didn't have to worry about that. Whereas in Belize, these are, women that are in junior college still have to use like washable sanitary napkins because pads are so expensive. So they can't just like go out and buy a bunch of, like, a pack of pads is like $30 something. And that's insane, like, and not and even having to think of outside of my own family in Belize, because again, like, that us being fortunate also stemmed from that. Like, my family is also fortunate down there. So my cousins didn't really have to think about that. But when I started visiting schools and sitting down and talking to, some of these teenagers, they're just like, I don't have money for that all the time. And 9 times out of 10, it's from school, they go to work because they have to support their parents and their siblings and all these things like that. School in Belize is not free. Education is not free in Belize. And that also goes with the mindset, as Americans, elementary school, primary school, all that stuff like that, that's free. Everybody's afforded that. College is the luxury. But in certain countries, education period is a luxury that everyone cannot afford. So as I got older and I started seeing like, oh shit, it's past just sending down barrels of clothes, because there's so many things happening here. Like, there's so many socioeconomic things that I didn't even know was, possible to be happening in the world, just in general. And so my thing expanded from just sending down barrels of clothes. Now it's sending pads. Now it's sponsoring kids. I wish I could sponsor everybody, but now it's sponsoring them, paying for their tuition so that they're able to go to school and further their education. It is sponsored, partnering with outside organizations to send computers, because the last time I went to visit a school, the computer lab was being used as storage because they didn't have access to computers. So it's like, there's all these things that the seed that was planted by my mom by just like sending down barrels and always being like, you're fortunate and there's always someone less fortunate. Like, I never had to want for anything growing up, like never had to want for anything. And that is a privilege, and it's a privilege to live like that. Especially in America, coming, when your parents come from third world countries. So for me, it's just like, that is just one of my ethics, one of my values that I was raised with. It's just like, oh, you have, so you give. If you have, you give. And having is, if I got $2, I can give you $1. Like, so sometimes for me, I have to realize like, wait, I can't give. because if I
Right.
give, I'm also going to be impoverished. And that goes from like economic to innate, like to mental and,
Of course.
Right.
yeah, all that.
It's the boundary.
It
That's
is.
not, yeah.
It's boundaries. It is not on me to be able to provide for everybody, even though I would love to.
Right.
It is,
Right.
it is something that, again, it's a seed that was planted by my mother because she will give the shirt off her back. But I don't want to contribute
And leave yourself undone.
if it leaves me struggling.
Right.
That's not,
Right.
for me, that's not living
Mhm.
a purposeful life.
It isn't.
Right.
It's just not what it is. But my philanthropy did, and my love for it, and it's what I do now on my side, on the side, and in everyday life, my
Mhm.
my bill payer. But yeah, like it's I feel like
I can't.
when
Who the fuck is, are you talking about my husband, Denny?
No,
You said your bill
job.
payer.
My job.
Oh, you mean, your job. I said your bill payer. You know what? I'm so steeped in patriarchy.
I thought the same thing.
I'm so
I
steeped in
would
patriarchy.
never-
I
We
said,
all
oh,
thought the
she's a
same
man.
come in as the bill payer. I contribute, but
Right.
it is
Tricky.
it is yeah, I feel like with the seeds and the everything that my mother implanted in me has blossomed into now my own thing and my own
Mhm.
love and my own connection with philanthropy and all, and it started with my mom, and
Oh, that's good.
so yeah.
It's nice to see.
But here's the thing, though. I understand this because I'm asking a question because as I said earlier, I'm in a what is it called? I'm in a trimester of, no, I'm not. I am in a period of
Trimester.
like redefining things. So I'm questioning, I'm so curious about everything in my life, like how I think, how I move, how I operate, how we operate as a society, how we move, how we make decisions, right? It's really in a redefining. And I understand that because I am a person that I'm like, even as a young person, my mother instilled education into me. As an adult, I understand why she did, because she thought that that was like a way out of something that she herself didn't accomplish just yet. So she like put all of that into me, and I'm thankful for that. Actually, period. I'm thankful for that because I am somebody who I feel like I do love education in the way that America presents it. As learning, and but I also have to question, like I'm questioning, like, would that matter to me if I did not, like, it's like, would that matter to me had she not instilled that into me, right? Like, would it matter?
Yeah,
You say, yeah. I don't think I don't
think so, because also, I mean, if I'm using, like, my mother also instilled like the importance of education or whatever, but she did that with all of us, and like it was like 50-50. Two of us take it very seriously, but another did not, or a couple others did not. So it's like you can be given or fed the same thing. How you nourish it is on you. You don't have you didn't have to continue reading, and you didn't have to, go get your master's and all. You didn't have to do all those things. Your mom said, this is important.
I didn't see it as a choice though. And that's the thing. Like, as I'm thinking back on it, and we're gonna wrap this shit all up. But like, as I'm thinking back on it, I don't think I ever had a choice. Like, I found reasons in the outside world to support what I was taught. You know what I'm saying? So like, she instilled education into me, and then in every lesson that I've learned, I found like little nuggets to keep me sustained, right? So it's like, okay, my mother said that education is important because like we have to like I don't know, like further the Black race or what, and that's not what she said, but it's just like education is important so you can go on and have a good job and live a good life. And then I was like, as I learned, I'm like, okay, slaves couldn't read, so I have to read the best and I have to write the best and I have to learn like to do all of these things. But I'm like, if these things wasn't thrust upon me, like what? And I feel like now I have found my intentional living, right? My intentional living is through creation and not just like, and that's the whole thing about motherhood is like, that's the biggest creator that there is. So I want to experience that because I've been creating some shit. I'm an artist and I'm good at what I do. And I was like, I think I could create a good human. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but that's ego. That's ego. So it's just like, I would implore everybody who is listening to like really be curious about like who you are as a human, like who you are as an individual on this earth. How did you come upon the things that you think that you know, and it's what is it? And it's genesis of it, and really ask yourself like, is this me? And I think like you would know by like the pings in like, you know, the strings in your soul, to be poetic, but on some hood shit, like nigga, you know when you know. Like you know when it's like when you live in your life and you don't have to like question it. So do that. We're gonna wrap this shit up because we've been talking for quite some time. Like, guys, we are so happy to be back. We are happy. We're so happy to be back that we have a new segment for y'all, and it's called Peep Game. And we're about to put you onto some hot shit. And I'm gonna give it to my girl Key because she got some shit for y'all. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up for the community.
Listen. So let me put y'all on, right? Because majority of this episode has been weighted in our pockets, finance. They come in for all our little, you know, insert Dave Chappelle. Clutching the dollars. You gotta clutch them. We gotta save every penny we can. So on that note, Netflix has launched an ad-supported subscription. So now you don't gotta pay, what is it, $19 now, I think? It's $19 or $12.99, one of them. Now you can pay $6.99. You're gonna have a couple ads here and there, but you know, it's I get it because we're used to the comfort of nobody, you know, there's no skip option with ads because obviously, but as someone who has ad-supported Hulu, because it's expensive. Hulu is expensive. Okay?
Shout out to Mowo for my Hulu subscription. Love you, babe. Love you down. Thank you very much for the commercials.
We have a lot of subscriptions, so we got pinch what we can. You know, we got pinch. So for those of you that I would recommend this for people who are already in a relationship, right? Because if you can't Netflix and chill with ads, that don't work out.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
If you are already in a relationship and you know y'all been doing this, then I think the ad supported is for you. If you rely on Netflix and chill for your social life, you got to keep paying that $19.99. You just got to do it because.
Oh, let me add, if you're also someone that watches TV with your phone in your hand, like I do, it might not be so bad because.
Why the fuck are you watching TV on your? I thought.
No. I watched in my hand. Like TV's on. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. So because I miss tons of shit because I'm texting throughout entire movies or TikToking. So I think if I could just limit my TikToking to commercial breaks. Ooh. Perhaps I could watch a whole freaking show without having to rewind 1,000 times.
No, that's facts. Because, okay, the listeners don't know. I can't stand Oprah. Love her. The Oprah effect is real because when she's in a room, she shifts atoms, neutrons, protons, all of that in a room. However, she has the worst interface on a streaming platform, sir. It's the worst. I mean, she's giving you 5-minute commercial breaks. However, I get my best TikToking done.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna have to downgrade the family plan to the $6.99. Now I don't know about my days where I feel bingy and I don't want to watch a commercial, and I just
don't
want to
know.
like, it's
Yeah.
getting cold, so I want to snuggle up under my, under my Bed Bath and Beyond quilt.
Ooh, your weighted blanket.
No, I should get a weighted blanket, right?
It's amazing. It's
Is it?
amazing.
Surprised
Yes.
that you do not have
Does
one.
it feel like
amazing.
human-like? Because I really, you know
It
what?
just-
We're gonna
it
wrap
puts-
this up.
It puts
Because
you to sleep. Yeah, just no.
does it feel like the
Also,
weight of a
Keith-
human man on top of you?
Well, it depends on the pounds that you get. Because I have like I think the 100-pound, and it be trying to stifle me.
Yeah, I was
but,
about to say that sounds uncomfortable.
At first it was 20 or 30, and then I boosted up to 80. I'm like, I think I could do 100, and it's been great. It's been wonderful. Right to sleep.
Okay.
It-
So peep game people, get a weighted blanket. I'm gonna
get-
Amazon some, and if I find a good one, I will put it on the Pontificating Pod Instagram.
I'll send you a link.
Yes. So guys, it's so good to be back,
Yeah.
and we will see you next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Pontificating, yeah, we back again. So tell your friends and tell your wretched ass friends. Thought we was gone, but nah, no, we ain't. That you got rid of us, but no, you can't. Yeah,